So, if you haven't been living under a rock the past few days, you probably heard about Ukraine turning the tables on Moscow with an assault in Russia. But there's been so much news about Kursk, it's easy enough to get lost in it all. I'm Jeremy Dirac, a journalist here at Kyiv Post. Let me try to catch you up with some of what we know. First, Ukraine's counter-invasion came as a shock to quite a lot of people, including, it seems, the Russians. Russian Army Chief Valery Gerasimov reportedly had intelligence that Ukrainian troops were gathering at Russia's border, but seems to have ignored it. At the same time, it's been reported that some of the captured Russian POWs claimed they were aware of the Ukrainian presence 2 days prior, but their commanders asked them not to be concerned. We don't know, but the fact that Russia hasn't experienced a ground invasion since World War II might have had something to do with it. Yes, since Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine in February 2022, there have been some small raids by groups of anti-Putin Russians aligned with Ukraine, but nothing like this. The Ukrainian incursion started Tuesday morning, August 6th. The Russian Defense Ministry's Telegram channel initially said that 300 Ukrainian soldiers, 11 tanks, and at least 20 armored combat vehicles had entered Russia near the town of Sudzha. But it was a lot bigger than that. To quote a Forbes article, Thursday, August 8th, "It's more clear by the hour that what's happening in Kursk isn't a raid, it really is an invasion." Now, 8 days into Ukraine's incursion, it's evident that there are thousands of Ukrainian troops in Russia from a variety of brigades, including some of Ukraine's best. As the Russian-language news publication Agentstvo reported, in a single day, Ukrainian forces breached at least 2 lines of fortifications that Moscow had built over 2.5 years at a cost of $109 million. A soldier from Ukraine's 82nd Airborne Assault described his experience encountering Russian soldiers to the Financial Times. They were sitting in the woods and drinking coffee. And as you can see from this video, where Russian soldiers are allegedly surrendering to Ukrainians at the border, they hadn't put up a lot of resistance. There's also this video, posted on Telegram, allegedly showing soldiers captured from Chechen strongman Ramzan Kadyrov's Akhmat Special Forces unit. On Tuesday, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said, "Hundreds of Russian servicemen have already surrendered, and all of them are being treated humanely. They did not experience such treatment even in their own Russian army." But surrendering soldiers isn't the only embarrassment for Russia. Last Friday, August 9th, a column consisting of 500 troops and 14 vehicles parked by the side of the road was purportedly eliminated by a Ukrainian missile attack, perhaps the largest loss for the Russian army in a single strike since it started its full-scale invasion of Ukraine back in February 2022. Another Russian military column was allegedly destroyed on Sunday, August 11th, near the village of Kryvitsky Buy, but this time by a Russian attack helicopter that had mistaken its comrades for Ukrainians. For its part, Kyiv has been slow to talk about the incursion. On Monday, August 12th, 6 days into it, Zelensky for the first time acknowledged Ukraine's presence in Russia. He said Ukraine controls about 1,000 square kilometers, or 386 square miles, of the Kursk region. On the same day, in a televised meeting with Putin, Alexei Smirnov, the acting governor of Kursk Oblast, said that 12 Russian civilians had been killed, 121 injured, and 121,000 evacuated from the Kursk region. He said that 60,000 more were waiting to be evacuated, making it the largest evacuation of Russians since the Second Chechen War. The Russian-language news site Nastoyashye Vremya reported Tuesday, August 13th, that Smirnov had reached an agreement with Russian-appointed regional head Yevgeny Belitsky to move refugees to, of all places, Ukraine, specifically Russian-occupied parts of Ukraine's Zaporizhzhia region. In the televised meeting with Putin, Smirnov also said that Ukraine had captured 28 Russian settlements. However, the next day, Tuesday, August 13th, Zelensky said that Ukrainian forces had control of 74 Kursk region settlements. Apart from the element of surprise, according to Forbes, one way the Ukrainians have been so successful has been not only the element of surprise, but also the use of a new style of warfare, neutralizing Russian drones with new jamming techniques and then blitzing them with drone swarms. One of the most important territorial gains for Ukraine so far may be the town of Sudzha, where the only pumping station delivering Russian natural gas to Europe via Ukraine is located. The BBC reported that photos appear to show Russia constructing new defensive lines near the Kursk nuclear power plant, as Ukrainian forces engaged the Russians about 25 kilometers or 16 miles away. And there's some evidence that Ukraine's incursion is not confined to the Kursk region. Video posted August 10th allegedly shows a group of soldiers from Ukraine's 252nd Battalion holding up Ukrainian and Georgian flags, having just captured the village of Poroz in the Belgorod region to the south. On Wednesday morning, Belgorod declared a regional emergency. So how is the world reacting? Moscow-friendly China has called for de-escalation. Belarus reported that it's strengthening its border with Ukraine. Ukraine's Western allies have been supportive. That said, the US and the UK haven't agreed to allow Ukraine to use the long-range missiles they've given Ukraine, that is, ATACMS and Storm Shadows, for deeper attacks within Russia. But some, including U.S. Republican Senator Lindsey Graham and Democratic Senator Richard Blumenthal, are calling for these restrictions to be lifted. On Tuesday, Russian Ambassador Dmitry Polyansky criticized Ukraine's Western allies for not condemning the Ukrainian incursion. Polyansky said that Ukraine is a puppet state, and it's intentionally targeting civilians. While the Russian military's destruction of civilian infrastructure in Ukraine is difficult to track due to the sheer scale of it, also on Tuesday, Ukraine's Ministry of Health reported that in the past 2.5 years of war, Moscow has damaged, sometimes heavily, 1,646 medical facilities, destroying 215 of them. Last month, a Russian missile hit Ukraine's largest children's hospital in Kyiv. In response to Polyansky, U.S. diplomat Caleb Pine said, "There is no question as to which country has committed numerous well-documented atrocities, including war crimes and crimes against humanity, on Ukraine's sovereign territory. That country is Russia." Thanks for listening. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and let me know your thoughts in the comments.